Red alert! Set an intention. Go to Salon Trek.
Ahoy, hoy, friends, and welcome to the Salon. It's going to be one of those episodes. I am so excited to talk about Star Trek Con episodes 5 and 6. Before we do, a reminder of all the podcast things. We are live. It is 6:30-ish Pacific on Thursday. So we're live on YouTube. If you're listening to us in the future, you've probably found us on one of your favorite podcast catchers at Salon Trek. We are also on Patreon. Our thanks to Tess and Lori, who recently joined. You'll see your names in the credits after this show. Recently added. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support of all of our patrons. We will be recording a bonus episode this weekend. So get excited. Everybody at the $5 or more amount gets those bonus episodes. There's also a free tier where you can engage with us. And speaking of engaging with us, let's talk about Star Trek Con. And in order to do that, I need to beam in my crew, starting with my co-host, Trevor. Trevor, I'm coming to you live from the sunless sea. Where are you and how are you?
What? Oh, I get it. I'm good. How are you?
I did no prep for that, and I apologize.
You didn't.
Here's
okay.
Will.
It's a pre-show, you know.
Will, how are you?
I'm fine. Just no lube, going right into it.
Yep,
Wow.
yep.
Fabulous.
Doing it raw. Here's Joanne. How are you, girl?
I am well.
And Krista, how you do?
It's like a raw dog evening. We're just gonna raw dog.
That was an advertising miss on our part that we did not promote this episode as the raw dog evening.
As the raw
that
dogger.
it will be.
Yeah.
My dog's currently licking his lipstick, so it's real raw dog for me.
Oh,
and
wow.
mine. Yeah.
I don't.
Little excitement. All right.
Segue.
And scene.
And we're here tonight. Trevor puts on chapstick. Love it.
Sure, that's what we'll call it.
Y'all, we are talking about Star Trek Con episodes 5 and 6. Some really cool shit happens in these episodes. I'm excited about it. But before we talk about it, as you know, we must find the icon because they've moved. We simply must. Oh, I played with it too much before the show, and there it is.
Girl. You played with it too much before the show. That's the clip.
That's
Oh, God.
That's the one.
What is that? A taser?
for those not watching us live on YouTube, because I forget sometimes that happens. Even though I know people who personally in my life who listen to us after the fact, I am holding up my new lighter because it is time to set an intention.
This is obvious, but don't forget to set an intention when you light it, or you're just going to be wasting the wax.
Indeed it is, and this I did not play with before the show. To set an intention tonight, I thought it would be fun if we flipped one of my very first intention setters for Star Trek Con around and went around the room and shared who we don't want to hear an audio drama about, anyone in the Trek universe. As always, I will start us off. And my answer actually changed because of some chatter in the pre-show. And my answer is the Grand Negus. No offense to the actor, but I don't want to hear that and not be able to at least see some other characters. That's just a voice that I don't. I'm sorry, Wallace, but yeah, no. Let's go around the room. Krista, who don't you want to hear about for 9 episodes?
It's inconceivable. I don't want. I have reached satiation levels of Kirk. I just I want no more. I don't want young Kirk. I don't want old Kirk. I don't want Nexus Kirk. I don't want Kirk on a stick, green Kirk, Sam I am. I'm done with Kirk.
I hear you. We've had enough.
I mean, it's just.
Yeah. We've been Kirked out. I hear you.
I'm Kirk full.
William.
I have to say I'm real done with Picard.
Oh,
I
good
don't need
answer.
any more. I don't need any more. I think we've dug as far as we can through that character. We've got 2 shows and a handful of movies. I think we're good. I don't need anything. I just don't need it. I don't need him and Bev meeting. No, I don't need any of that. Don't give it to me. I don't want it. I don't want it. Keep that bald man away from me.
All right. Hey, no. Joanne.
So, in like fashion, I don't want to hear any more about Beverly Crusher. Please send all of your complaints to me on Bluesky. I'm done. We've heard her bullshit excuses. It's enough. It's enough, right? It's enough. So
it's a chop.
Okay.
It's a chop.
It's a chop. I get it. Gates, you're lovely. But yeah, we're done with Bev. Stanley.
I agree. And I'll just throw in the rest of the pack and say Jack Crusher. Like, I hated that they gave Picard a kid, and I don't need to see any more of him. Those 10 episodes were enough. Stay tuned for our thoughts on Star Trek Picard later this year. They're not what you might think. And also just throwing in the mix, Barclay, Neelix, Bashir, and then the list could go on and on and on and on. I want new things. I am so excited about Starfleet Academy. There are plenty of characters that I would like to see more of. I do like the idea of more Seven and Rafi. I don't need it to be legacy as described, but if we don't get anything with them, it's fine. New stuff, new stories and adventures. And after this, I'm done with Khan. This has been lovely, and I'm excited to talk about it. But yeah, I think this is scratching that itch, and we are good to go. So let's, now that the intentions are set, get into our top thoughts. I really loved these episodes. I thought some really cool and interesting things happened, including Ursula's voice having some emotion for once. Tragically, real bummer. Also, that means my theory is not necessarily going to pan out with Dr. Lear, which I think we can all agree was the worst thing that happened in these 2 episodes, is that I ended up being incorrect about something, which is very rare. Not really. I really enjoyed the juxtaposition of this new alien race with Khan. Like, it, at first I was like, this is a little on the nose of like, oh, the exact opposite of Khan just happens to crash on this planet. But the way they execute it was really interesting and fun. And I also just loved that Del Mondo was giving me Oda Mae Brown vibes, because he was like, Marla, I'm going to help you out of the cave, and I'm going to show you some bullshit that happened, and I'm going to tell you something about Khan that I think you already know, but girl, Marla, you in danger, girl. Joanne, your top thoughts on these episodes?
They're fine. I unlike you, I'm struggling with the aliens. I don't like how much of an exact foil they are for Khan. It's all very hand of God-ish to me, and not in a good way. But I get it, I guess. And it's interesting to see, how persistent Khan is in his fuckery, even when presented with rational opinions and alternative solutions, right? So that's fascinating, I suppose, to watch. But yeah, these were probably my least two favorite. They're not bad, but they're at the bottom of my list for sure. So that's it for now. William.
Thank you, dear. Yeah, we're kind of we're building up to the finale again. Like I felt like the show this at this point was trying to move towards the destruction of SETI Alpha 6. So now that we've had that, now there's this kind of new thing that's happening. I, like everyone thus far, think the aliens are a little too convenient story-wise and plot-wise, but I am enjoying it. It is interesting. I need more of the brutality of Khan. It feels like we're starting to humanize him too much. And that was my initial worry at the start of this. And it seems to be playing out where they're making him less brutal, this brutal dictator. And we're seeing in other people's decisions of things. Sometimes it's like they go, oh, well, I'm not a warrior, I'm a botanist. And I'm like, no, you all were warriors. Like there's a little bit of retconning happening where they're like, oh, no, these people were weapons. Like they're not, this person's not a botanist first. They are like a weapon, unfortunately. And that's kind of the harm of his people. But I don't know. It's interesting. We're just back to building to the finale. I think we always get there. There's always like the big center point of the season, which I think was last episode. And then this one is now these last two are building up towards the final episode. So, yeah, other than that, I think it's fine. It's fine. Krista?
I renamed Imagination's Limits to the one with romantic poets as Chekhov's guns because of Kubla Khan. And I can go into a whole nerdy thing about Kubla Khan, but I disagree. I didn't view the interactions. I viewed the interactions with Khan and the Eldorians or the Pandem consciousness as a manipulation on their part, using the structure that he uses to manipulate his people. They were mirroring what he wanted to say. And I really felt like the Imagination's Limits, starting with Lear kind of waxing poetic and genuflecting about how misunderstood Khan is, by the end of For the Good of All, he's clearly not this benevolent creature that she is interpreting these logs to be presenting. He is, I don't think this humanizes him at all. I think both episodes really showed, if anything, he is the center of his own universe. There is not a single situation in which he is not the main player in his own mind. And the Eldor, they are clearly superior, both physically and consciously. And he believes he's dealing with an equal, and he has no concept of there being someone superior to him. And so the play on communication, the play on what creates monsters, the play on fortresses of the mind and what happens when a person is stuck in a fortress of the mind. All of that was really interesting to me. Were these two episodes, I think they would be really boring if we did them one at a time. I think putting them together was a good idea because they do play well together. But I think, Khan having a Paul Muad'Dib, Kwisatz Haderach, water under the, give me a fucking break. He's not all that. And I think that these two episodes really illustrated that he really is selfish in the extreme, and he does not he does not say no to himself, and he does not prohibit the actions of others if they can be blamed for those actions. He didn't tell Ivan not to kill someone. He didn't instruct him to spy and be quiet and come back to base. He manipulates. He's a big fat fucking loser. I don't like him. And also, Dr. Lear, Sulu has all the rights. Sit the fuck down and be humble. You sanctimonious little twat. Don't like her.
I could not agree more. With respect to Dr. Lear, I fucking hate her. There it is. I don't like her. I don't like her one bit. When she was questioning Tuvok on like tracking her movements and tracking her like, yes, you're on a Federation starship. I'm tracking your movements. You're a guest. You don't actually belong here. So yeah, I'm monitoring everything you're doing. Like, fucking get over it. If you don't like it, go hire a freighter, like to fly you out here. But like, settle down. I'm also glad that we're covering these two. I did not have any sort of prophecy that these two needed to be bundled together when we made the choice to do this. But the second episode, I found a lot kind of boring in the beginning. But when we mush them together, the story as a whole kind of works for me. I respectfully disagree with Will on the over humanizing of Khan. I respect that he's there. I'm not there yet. For me, it's still sort of a three-dimensionalizing, and he's actually weaker than he appears. And so I'm okay with it, but I get why he got where he is. He being Will in that sentence. Sorry, I'm on dangling modifier patrol tonight. So I think these may have been my favorite Marla episodes. She's kind of annoyed me up until now, through no fault of the brilliant actress. As far as the aliens go, I think the thing that I struggle with the most is kind of something, and we'll talk about this when we're spoiler alert for fans of the Salon. When we're finished covering Khan, we will cover Space Seed, the episode in which Khan first appears, as well as The Wrath of Khan. But I have the same problem in Space Seed that I have in these episodes, which is like Khan has, until Space Seed, never seen an alien before. And in both Space Seed and in this in these episodes, he's just sort of like way too chill about it, in my opinion. I mean, I realize that's not the plot of these episodes, so he shouldn't spend 20 minutes freaking out about the fact that he's meeting a telepathic alien species. But a little acknowledgement that this is new. Oh, we're zooming in on Krista's friend. There should be some acknowledgement that that's unusual for him. And then last but not least, I sort of spoiled it with saying the word myself. It drives me nuts when people say species. That's all I got.
Wait, what? Say more about that part.
It's species, not species.
Oh, okay. You're having your own like
I don't like
Reese's versus Reese's moment.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
And as a scientist, she should know better.
Yeah. I agree with a lot that's been said. So the first episode that we're talking about tonight kicks off with what I kind of assumed was going to be like episode 8. SETI Alpha 6 exploded. She went kablooey, and now we have to figure out what the fuck to do, which is wild. Like, tremors are starting, shit's hitting the planet, aliens are coming out of nowhere. It's a little convenient, I still think, and you know, I have a very, very out there theory about some retconning that might be happening, but I don't think I'm right, but I am wondering.
Be wrong right now. Tell us.
Did they not say in Star Trek 2 that Marla and the child died, or did the child live, or was it left ambiguous?
Now I got to go back and find out because I don't remember.
Because I know that there was a scene filmed that they cut with a child next to the Genesis device that was about to blow up, because that is dark. Like if they had left that in with no other context, it was like, oh, there's a little baby that Khan had with somebody. Because my way out there, I don't think it's actually going to happen, but I have some inklings of it, so I'm going to say it out loud in case I can say in the future, haha, I was right. What if Del Mondo astral projects Marla's death into their minds and is like, you in danger, girl, come with us. It's out there. I don't think there are inklings of something's amiss, and we learn in episode 2, we'll get there. Del Mondo is who gave Lear the tapes, some of the tapes. So there's,
I feel like this is you leaning into being wrong to undo a wrong you already wronged.
When was I wrong before?
not
When was I
feeling your
ever wrong
conviction.
Before?
I'm not feeling your conviction on this at all. I think you're like, you're not really feeling it.
I don't have any on this one.
I don't even know what you're saying. Yeah.
I am the Ken of this evening, it seems.
I don't understand. Was this meant to suggest that the ship that the Pandem consciousness is on, that somehow that is what activated the core breach of SETI 6?
I think somebody,
their presence in the atmosphere is what actually was the catalyst.
Well, Paulo had said that maybe something collided with it, because they all kind of agreed that, the planet shouldn't have blown up. And so they're like, well, maybe something hit it. And I think they were thinking that maybe it was, the ship either hit the planet or disturbed something somehow.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, was it this massive consciousness? Because later you hear Ivan saying they move things with their minds. 10 or more can move the parts of this exploded ship into the cave for reassembly. They don't communicate through words. They hold hands. And I'm just wondering if the suggestion here is that their consciousness is so potent that it actually activated the core of that planet's to breach 1,000 years early.
That's an interesting theory.
Thank you. Because then that would completely nullify this idea that Kirk deliberately sent 75 people to a planet knowing that they would die. That undermines the whole thing.
Yeah, these aliens were flying by in the middle of a mind orgy and whoops.
Right.
Like you do.
And nudged SETI Alpha 6 to explode. Oh, that was their orgasm.
Who among us hasn't accidentally blown up a planet while enjoying a mind orgy with our friends?
Problematic gay alert.
I'll count it, but I wouldn't consider that.
Kinda. Like, I oddly enough, I did not have a video prepared for alien mind orgy causing SETI Alpha 6 to explode.
Nope, for next week.
I will go into Canva right now.
Canva hates to see you coming.
Apparently also planets.
Well, because I'm thinking, I don't know if anybody else, maybe nobody else noticed it, but when listening to Dora the Explorer, whatever the Endora, whatever the whatever the person's
Yeah,
name
Every
is.
time you bring, I think you can just say the aliens and
The aliens. I
We'll know
didn't
who
write
you
their name down. Listening to him, there was inflection in listening in the way they were talking that I think I question their benevolence. Let's put it that way. There was an undercurrent there that didn't. I think they wanted this planet. They wanted the planet, and I don't think they want to share the planet. And
it does end with, "Hey, we built you a ship."
Right.
Yeah.
I think the entire thing was, and so they could, as a collective consciousness, breach a planet's core on purpose.
And who's to say they didn't do that to make City Alpha 5 more pleasant for themselves?
Yeah, terraforming.
I don't know.
We'll just sit with that for a minute.
Apparently, I broke the salon.
Sorry to put a
I
pause
just
on
have,
everything.
no. I just didn't have any theories about this. Like, I just thought that I didn't have any theories as why the aliens are there. I do think that they're gonna put the Khan's baby on that ship, though. I think they're gonna realize they're never getting off that planet, and I think that baby's going on that ship, and that's probably Dr. Lear.
I hate the baby's behind Krista.
I think Katie wants to say something.
Mural have to say?
She thinks that that's going to be Marla that does that, though.
Oh.
And she's going to do it in secret because it's sort of foreshadowed in the second episode, which I named the one in which Marla becomes 24th century HR department.
You're not wrong.
He flips his shit because she just did whatever the Eldoran told her to do. Like that whole scene where what do you mean? You just followed him? You just did what he told you to do? And he loses his shit because she exercises, a modicum of personal agency.
Yeah.
And he loses his mind. And so I think that's a setup for her sneaking that kid off that planet behind his back. And maybe that's what gets her killed.
Not just Marla. Everyone's in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not. One thing that's kind of bugging me a little bit is that they're not dealing with the eels a whole bunch. Because in Khan, he kind of insinuates that the eels killed most of his people.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he insinuates it though.
But
yeah,
I have a theory. Where did the eels live?
Underground.
Oh,
underground in the caves.
Right.
Yeah.
Saying.
They have to take refuge in the caves. They got the queen the other week. Now they have to take refuge in these caves because of the explosion.
And this is where Kubla Khan comes in. Can I go English nerd for give me 2 minutes?
No,
actually, I think Katie has something to say first.
Katie says, yes, go English nerd. Okay. So Kubla Khan.
Wait, real quick for those listening, Krista has this really cool mural behind her in her home of a white blonde lady in a really fierce pink suit that her camera keeps auto focusing on because I think it thinks that Krista's a ghost and Katie behind her has something to say.
Katie does have something to say. We're just going to let Katie have the talking stick. So Kubla Khan is a poem. It was a dream. He had a dream and he wanted to put it down, and it's a poem. It's about Kubla Khan, and he's this dude. He built Xanadu, and he built this like beautiful pleasure dome in the middle of a garden. So you've got Eden, you've got pleasure, you've got everything is perfect, blah blah blah. Beneath that runs a river. And the river is a sacred river, and the source of the river is a chasm, right? So it has a lot of energy, and every once in a while it erupts through this fountain. and it blows rocks and shit all over the place. And it sounds like a woman wailing for her demon lover. Now, think of all of this in connection with where they are, who Marla is, who Khan is, all of that. And it's basically a poem about how the artistic mind and the imagination in a dream sequence is potent, but it cannot be articulated with the same potency in your waking life. So this dream that they've got, that they all have, to have this perfect place, that everything is going to be fine. Khan's going to find a way. We're not going to quantify what that way is, but Khan's going to find a way and everything's going to work because it has to work, is kind of why it's interesting that she quotes Kubla Khan, because it's not a reality. And the more reality encroaches, the less your imagination works. And now we have your lack of imagination, Khan, and the fact that you can't conceptualize the idea that this is a working relationship with these new people that have just arrived. It has to be antagonistic. Had a more expansive whatever, then maybe we could work this out. Because Marla and Paolo and Maddo are playing the role of critical thinking skills.
Yeah, they're like, wait a minute, maybe.
Like, hold on, let's think about this for a minute. The guy is not a physics bender. So let's just calm down and look at this reasonably. And he's not interested in that because he can't control that.
It made me think about what Spock says in Wrath of Khan when he says his pattern in his way of thinking, or his pattern so far, something like that, indicates two-dimensional thinking.
Yeah.
Like he was a badass a couple hundred years ago
On land.
conventionally, but now aliens are involved, spaceships are involved. He's out of his element, but there's no humility there.
Neither Khan nor his tactics have a z-axis.
Well, yeah, he always thinks in it's always white and black terms. Like he never makes a decision that is nuanced. It's one way or the other. Like there's not much of a nuance. Yeah, it's two-dimensional. He only has those decisions. So these people are, these aliens are there. They're obviously there to harm them. So like he immediately goes and attacks them, while everyone else is like, well, maybe not. And then there's more thought, at least from Marla.
He thinks of everything as an extension of himself as well, which is that inherent narcissism. Sure. It's either of him or bad.
Right.
It's like everything else is less than. And that's why I really enjoyed those exchanges with this higher consciousness, because the idea that his, fortress of the mind, he was like, if you have all this power, why don't you just take the information out of my head? And they were like, well, because that's like essentially rape and wrong.
I love that. I loved that line of what is given freely is different than what is taken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the point is that they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
They could do that, and they would rather not do that. And I think that in and of itself is its own manipulation, because his role as Lord or King or whatever he calls himself is predicated on their willingness to submit. So by this consciousness saying that in that way, it's very similar to the way he is approaching his own people and his own thing. And so so that's why I don't think I think it's a mirror to him in a way that makes this new species somewhat questionable, but definitely does not favor Khan. Sorry, I killed it.
No.
No, it's just you cause a lot of thinking to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I was astral
processing.
projecting my
I'm
thoughts.
alone a lot of the time, so I have a lot of time to think.
Girl, same. That's
No,
one of the
I
reasons
get
why I
it.
love the
Krista.
salon. Is like I need human contact.
I don't know how to tell you this,
Also on
but
a lot of drugs. So.
you're not alone right now.
You are not alone.
Did anybody have any other thoughts on the aliens before we talk about Ivan the Barbarian?
I'm not interested in sitting in a hot pool that smells of
Of Ivan.
ass stank. Thanks. I know where I'm going to spend a lot of my time once we get moved in. Yeah, stick me in the ass fart hot pools. That's where you'll find me. I don't. Nope.
So
Sulfur,
Krista
that's
skipped to
devil's
the newlywed. So you want to talk about the honeymoon?
I'm just saying, the fountain throws shit from the river that sounds like a woman wailing for her demon lover, and she's like, yeah, let's sit in the ass stink hot pool. Sulfur. It smells like sulfur.
Somewhere Beverly is like, did I hear demon lover?
She did. There's candles, there's everything. I'm just saying.
You don't know what I'm doing over here.
Kublai Khan was a specific choice. They could have gone with Lord Byron. They could have gone with Keats. They went with Coolidge instead.
Yeah.
Neither Krista nor Katie have been wrong tonight.
Yeah.
That's
So we get some interesting stuff with the aliens, including a murder. Ivan the Barbarian takes it upon himself to figure out, hey, can I kill one of these things? Because he does not see these aliens as worthy of anything other than, murder. I'm ready for Ivan to die.
Yeah, same. I'm ready for
I hate him.
It was like he licked blood off his fingers. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, the sound design was disgusting. It was disgusting.
And I'm just saying,
in the best way.
You can't retrain. Yeah. Like they're like, he needs to be taught better. It's like, you can't retrain a feral rabid dog. The man is licking alien blood off his fingers.
Yeah. Like Marla, I am very curious about what happy place they put him in, because I don't know that he knows any happy place to be put in.
It's just him murdering that guy over and over and over again. Just him murdering.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I do this for my lord.
Yeah, there's two reasons I want him dead, because I think he deserves it as a character. I just find him despicable. There's nothing redeemable about that character. But also that accent drives me fucking nuts. Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
Let me do the mode. What do you mean? These Russian accent from 1960s Bond film. It's like, all right, I get it.
Who has access to the GoldenEye satellite?
I make I do the murder. I make vodka. Okay, cool.
They should have had Nana. Are you some kind of anarchist?
Anarchist. Yeah, the sound design of that was really gross. I like how they it does seem like they went, oh, we have to really convey that he's killing this thing. Make this the most disgusting noise you've ever heard, because they visually couldn't show it, because it'd probably just be him choking or whatever. But it was it was just disgusting. And then it kind of screaming on top of it. I was like, oh right, good lord.
This is one of those ones where I wish that they had the budget to do behind the scenes videos like they do with the shows. The costume of Strange New World season 3 was a really cool video that came out on the Star Trek YouTube channel a few weeks ago. I would love behind the scenes of the sound design and hey, were you curious what created the alien's death? It was a wet rag and a whisper, that the sound effect creation is always really cool.
The Foley stuff. Yeah. It's super interesting. Yeah. It was
gross. The blaster effect in Star Wars was hitting a telephone wire with a tuning fork. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Not to defend Ivan, but the guy is not wrong in part.
Wow.
He's not wrong in defining or stating that there's a disproportionate power thing happening.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. His
caution
response
is
to
warranted for
His
sure.
response is wrong for sure.
Murder a little far. Caution.
But he's not wrong in identifying it. And also, I really liked how and we'll call it Endoras, the dun, 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 how he just flat out said, yeah, I won't be having the vodka. It's sort of, he basically says it's sort of like a base manipulation for cultists. We're not we're not having any of that tonight. And
yeah,
God's like, oh, well, I don't trust anybody that doesn't drink with me. And he's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like first time for everything, buddy.
First time for everything. I'm all right with that. But I mean, Ivan wasn't wrong, but I think that for every cult leader, you have to have sort of a rabid dog. There's always an enforcer. There's always a easy fall guy straw man. And they do that, like, you know, Squeaky and the girls and all of that. They do what they are instructed to do. The thing about Khan is that he's very good at both instructing directly, but also by instructing by omission.
I mean, because Ivan said he was going to figure out how to kill them.
Exactly.
He said that to Khan. So what did you think was going to happen? So Ivan was going to kill somebody.
He puts on a whole show about, oh, well, you know, that's certainly not what I told him to do or whatever. But the fact of the matter is they can read they can read the whole thing. They could play it back for you in your fucking head, wherein you did not expressly say, do not kill anything. So
it was also interesting that Marlo was willing. She's like, yeah, let me know what happened. And Khan was like, nah, like just didn't want to believe it, even though it could have been proven. Which is where I think I see what you're saying, Will, about like the humanizing of him a little bit, because like we get like one step forward, but then something like that will happen. I'm just like, ooh, that's evil Khan coming back out. He's like, no, I don't need to see it. I'm sure he had his reason. Like
there are times that it happens. Yeah, there's times that it happens. Like when he was talking to the alien, and was like, you know, my people, I am the source of everything for my people. Like they make no decision without me. But then like he also says to us, like, was this a lie or was this just an omission? Like, because that's what Khan does. He doesn't admit to it because he can't be wrong. So he didn't tell Ivan to kill that person, but he didn't tell them not to. And having said that, he's setting himself up for like, I am the source of everything here. And
I'll decide what happens.
Right. And then he was
immediately like, I'm sorry, Joanne, I think I cut you off. What were you saying, Joanne? Sorry.
Well, I was saying it's humanizing, and not in the way like that he's great and gentle, humanizing in that it demonstrates that he's flawed and he's a bad leader and probably has always been a bad leader. Because again, I maintain, you know, he had to flee Earth. Now, you know, shit's hit the fan here. Like he couldn't take the ship because Khan is not the rhetorician that he thinks he is. He's not the skill. He doesn't have the skills that he wants to have. And you know, so like you said, he doesn't say that part out loud, right? Yeah. So I think that's what's being shaped, that he's fucked up.
And it goes back to how he didn't want to have, like, when Marla was like, hey, we should talk about your history. Let's write it down. And he's like, no, that's cool. I don't want my story to be told.
I'd rather diddle you with my toes.
That was gross.
Will's comment in the
That was
Will's
awful
comment in
gross.
I could
Will's
do
comment
without
in the
that.
chat sums up my feelings about Khan. Like, dictators are great at taking over. They're not good at maintaining power or being good leaders. Like, there's no, I'm going to try to not be too real world here by saying it doesn't take great intellect to either place a dictator in power or for a dictator to rise to power, but it doesn't last because clearly, I mean, Khan had like a quarter or 3/4 or however many quarters of the Earth, and that didn't work out. He couldn't take over a starship. Now he can't run this planet. No wonder he's pissed off by 15 years later and start in the Wrath of Khan. Like he just sucks at his job. So we should probably all brace ourselves. Wow, that got too real. Okay, anyway.
But it sort of
And he
whole
doesn't
thing-
have an east wing to destroy. And
it brings it no, they just have a hollow room that destroys women that are pregnant.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. It
We'll get
brings
there.
it back to the wasn't the in the first of our episodes, didn't Sulu say what is pain? What is pain unexpressed, unprocessed makes monsters? He said something of that nature.
Something
And
like
so in Ivan, you see what that is, because when Marla puts on her HR hat and is trying to explain, what his psychology is, what is his pathology, what's the problem, and she's like, well, he's had a really hard life and yada yada yada, and yet he is incapable of communicating. And unprocessed basically means uncommunicated, uninvestigated, unquantified, all of those things. So for me, the whole point of that episode and the following episode was to examine through the various characters what level of pain resulted in what level of being a monster. And so when you have Paolo and Maddo and Marla kind of going, hey, hold on a second, they're clearly the communicators. They like run the HR department. They're like, there's got to be a better way. And everybody else is like, fuck it, let's kill everyone. And Ursula was fine with it before Maddo got killed in a cave, or Ursula was fine with it. She's like, oh, I'm still, I hate to admit it, but I agree with Ivan. We should, eliminate them. We should approach this aggressively.
And you didn't say that in a monotone enough voice to really.
I can't with her. Even the emotional.
But I want to backtrack a little bit because you brought up Sulu, and we haven't talked about him or Tuvok or Lear yet. Because I thought some really interesting stuff happened with Captain Sulu in this episode. That's something that I didn't know that I wanted, but I'm enjoying the additional Sulu and Tuvok lore that we're getting in this story, where Sulu, Katie agrees, Sulu is having an interesting moment, I think, where like he's telling Tuvok, keep a closer eye on this bitch. I don't like her tone. And I get where he's coming from in one sense. In another, it's a bit much. It's a bit like, I mean, you offered to do this, just let her do her job. And I find it interesting because he, like in the timeline, his friend died just a few months ago. Like Captain Kirk was lost with the Enterprise B just a few months ago, or on the Enterprise B a few months ago. And now this bitch is saying he killed 79 people, including one of his own crew, on purpose. And he's having his own moment of being caught in his own experience and not seeing the full picture. Not quite as two-dimensionally as Khan is, very focused in his worldview. But I thought it was an interesting juxtaposition that Captain Sulu is having his own, like, how dare you moment. Think more like I think. What'd you all think of that?
Two things. One, Sulu is like these Star Trek Con is giving me the Captain Sulu that I wanted from a Captain Sulu series when there was talk about it 20 years ago, and I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. He's the kind of captain I would like. He's roguish like Kirk, but like sits in his quarters listening to classical music, sipping tea like Picard. Like there's something kind of delightfully gay about Captain Sulu that is just making me very, very happy. Is
I want to listen to the rain. Turn down the shields.
right? Like,
Yeah.
dude's got like the whole fucking ship is enjoying ambiance by the captain. Like,
Play Beethoven.
it's kind of insane. I'm surprised the music doesn't play through the whole ship.
Play Beethoven for everyone.
Just like you're like night shift, and you're like, oh fuck, not again.
Captain's in a mood.
But the other thing is like, and this has nothing to do with the story. From a story perspective, I agree with you. I'm enjoying, except I'm not quite as bothered by his methods as you seem to be. But
No, I just thought it was interesting. I was like, oh,
I'm
a little crack in the morality of a character that we haven't had much of.
And I don't see that. I don't see that as a we have a moral difference here. But I do think because there's a little hint of how dare you to Sulu that I'm really enjoying.
Yeah.
But the other thing that has nothing to do with the story that I'm really, really enjoying and stunned by is how good of a voice actor George Takei is. Like, I've enjoyed him on screen, but I'm loving just hearing him act with nothing but his voice.
Yeah.
It is a little bit better than I feel like he is when his face is involved. And that's no offense to his face. He's got a lovely face.
Is definitely there, but he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
But I can see his face in my head.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he's like, you can see the
But I can't see the fact that he's 80 something years old.
Yeah.
I'm hearing him as he was then. Like, he's being very thoughtful with his own diction and his pacing. And you can tell that, I mean, if you listen hard enough, you can tell he's probably trying to correct for the fact that his voice sounds different than it did 25 years ago. But I don't know, there's just something lovely about George that I've never enjoyed before that I'm enjoying now. So
I think that what's so great about the way he's playing him is that you can kind of identify with a person who is older and has some experience with the subject matter, has some experience with Khan, not just through reading or gossip or legend, but actual one-on-one experience, being placed as the foil of, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but a younger person whose enthusiasm and willingness to sort of do everything they can to validate their own preconceived notion of how this happened does not take into account anybody else's experience. And it's really kind of, I want to get to the bottom of this without really taking into account what the consequences of getting to the bottom is. And it's kind of that youthful hubris of seeing a puzzle and wanting to fix it without really understanding why it's a puzzle, like the necessity of it being a puzzle in the first place. The dissection of it is not necessarily the best scenario. And I think I get very clearly from George as he's playing it, I am also hearing what Trev said, the how dare you, but I appreciate it because he's entitled to his how dare you, because she is so certain that they dared to do something morally repugnant. Mm-hmm. And so she is no more objective than he is. The difference is he's not listening to logs. He actually experienced something in interaction with this person. And that is what his opinion is based on. She's sort of retconning it in a way to illustrate how pain facilitated him becoming a monster, and also saying that makes him not a monster. So it's like, it's very twisted, the way the human mind is twisted, and the way you can see, and not to get too timely, but you can see how once someone goes down a path, it is easier to continue on that path than to admit that you might have been mistaken.
Ooh, no. I not having any experience being mistaken, I can't speak to that. But
the only thing I remember from that scene is when Sulu, when she goes to Sulu's door and he goes, "Come." That was the only thing I remember from that scene. I did chuckle. I was just like, "Hey, come." That's all I remember from that.
Speaking of coming on the Excelsior, let's talk about Ensign Tuvok. He has a moment towards the end of the episode before we go back in time, back to the planet. Ensign Tuvok stops Dr. Lear from confronting the captain, and is it in an interesting hint of like, there's something. I don't know how to put it into words, but they're like we're getting some interesting lore for Tuvok, Ensign Tuvok. Like we had that episode in Voyager with the flashback where like he's trying to give the captain a different kind of tea, and who's her face? Janice Rand was like, oh, somebody's bucking for a promotion already, and ha 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 ha. But now, later on, Ensign Tuvok is like, no, let's do it this way so that you can gain a rapport with the captain. He's learning. He's scheming a little bit. That puts it in more of a more negative light than I think it is. But he's like, no, let's do this in a way that gets you the goal that you have. Thoughts?
I think he was just manipulating her to give her source.
Oh.
I mean, Tuvok's the only person who can handle, I think, Dr. Lear with an even temperament. Yeah. Because she's so insufferable and just completely, told Sulu, fuck your lived experience. My premise is right. So, I understand why he's just like, you're not going to do whatever the hell you want on my ship. Like, no. But I think so. Tuvok's the only one who can just get over her bullshit and just be like, okay, you need to refocus as well. Like, the work is what's important. The mission's what's important. That's what I think. That's really what I think he's doing, is trying to keep everybody sort of on task. Like, well, let's get to the heart of the matter, because I think he thinks the premise is interesting. And isn't this also like, I think they're also kind of suggesting this might be some of the reasons why he took a little leave of absence from Starfleet as well. So I think he's trying to be like, I think they're setting all of that up with Tuvok. But I think out of everyone, he's the one saying, leave your personal shit on the table and let's get to the truth of the matter. And I think he's saying that to both of them.
Yeah.
Can I bitch about Flashback for a second? Not on topic at all.
No, that episode was perfect.
The fact that when Janeway is physically there and they knock Rand unconscious to steal her uniform, and the uniform dwarfs Janeway to demonstrate that Rand was larger than Janeway, like, it's just kind of gross and obnoxious.
Tacky. Yeah.
It's like, just have her open someone's closet and take a uniform. Like first of all, we had to strip down Commander Rand to take her uniform. Like, that was the best plan. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully it bothers me. It's bothered me for 30 years, and now I've gotten it off my chest. all for going on this 30-second adventure with me.
Tuvok is a Vulcan. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So what Joanne is saying makes sense because ultimately, for them, it's an experiment.
Mhm.
Like every interaction is an experiment.
Yeah.
So he's simply approaching it like gathering as much information as possible so as to make a determination. But still, I think for his own curiosity, I think that was primarily maybe not a manipulation, but I think his curiosity is piqued because she is so adamant. And he's like, where did you get these documents? Like what the hows and whys of how she became so adamant is what he's interested in. And so he wants the documentation. He wants the scientific concrete data as part of the equation. I don't think he cares one way or another what, and I don't know anything about this Tuvok person. So,
Oh, that's right. You haven't seen Voyager yet.
if he retires or he takes a leave of absence or whatever, but just as a cold read, I think the guy doesn't give a shit one way or another. If I don't know anything about this guy,
we have been planning on doing a Voyager thumb war for like 2 years now, and a new Trek project will finally get announced. Literally, I think Discovery season 5, one of the Strange New World seasons, Lower Decks, like, and then something else gets in, like at least 2 or 3 times. We're like, oh, okay, we've got 7 to 14 weeks to do our Voyager thumb war. We'll make Krista finally watch Voyager, Matt's favorite. he'll be like a pig in shit, and then we were about to do it again, and then we get January 15th. Starfleet Academy is coming out, so Voyager is going to wait until maybe 2026. I feel like Paramount. I feel like we're coming soon, and we just don't know when.
And watch us end up getting another season of Strange New Worlds right after Academy, and we don't do.
God damn it!
Yeah,
I mean, it's fine. It gives us more content. It's great, but
yeah.
I'm just saying, knowing nothing about the guy and listening to him here, I'm like, I don't think he really. It does not. The result of it is not as important to him as getting the truest result possible.
Yeah.
So I don't think he cares one way or another. He just wants.
And I'm not convinced he's not following orders, even though those don't seem like the orders that he should be following. Anyway, we'll find out. I'm just thinking out loud.
Well, I mean, who else are you gonna? Who else isn't gonna get all wrapped up in the emotional vortex of Dr. Lear? I mean, it's like what Joanne said. He's not emotionally invested. He's not gonna get triggered by her because it's not in his nature. So he really is the best person to be assigned to watch her. But again, sit down, be humble. You're on someone else's ship, and without that person, you wouldn't even be available to do this. So, but she has a proprietary. It's unusually possessive, in the same way that Khan is unusually possessive. So, she's going to be that bubble baby.
Well, not to leave things on a cliffhanger, because I know that there's more in this episode that we could talk about, but I know that the aftermath of this episode will certainly be in the next. I haven't listened to it yet, but I do believe, and what did we decide her name was? I saw in the chat,
Katie.
Ms. Leonette.
Ms. Leonette.
Oh, I like
Ms.
Katie,
Leonette.
but okay.
Katie Leonette.
Katie Leonette. We call her Katie. It's Ms.
Katie
Leonette. We call her Katie.
I think she's getting tired too, so it's probably time to land the ship. But we will continue this discussion next week when we talk about episodes 7 and 8. Trevor,
Yes.
it is that time. Can you land the ship, please, darling?
I'll give it a whirl. There were 2 problematic gay alerts. There was 1 Bev alert. Thank you, Joanne. There was 1 explosive saucer separation. Stan did a bad impression 3 times. And something new that I'm tracking, we referenced, there were 3 Voyager alerts. We referenced Voyager 3 times in this particular episode. I gave 1,701 bonus points to Joanne for launching her new podcast, Pulaski Was Robbed, a Trek deep dive into the most interesting doctor of Trek. 10,000 bonus points to Will for making Sulu come. 50 bonus points to Walter for just being fucking cute. 5,000 bonus points to Katie Leonette for making some really fucking brilliant points. And last but not least, 1,250 bonus points to Krista for being oddly satiated by Kirk. Or was it with Kirk?
It was not.
All right, friends. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next week to discuss episodes 7 and 8 of Star Trek Con. Get excited for that. And until then, live long and prosper. Or go into a cave. Up to you.
All hands abandon ship. Proceed to the nearest evacuation zone